So, now we move on to people and organization, very, very important, right. It's one of the most critical needs for every business. You need to hire country specific local talent and build an organization structure that aligns with local society and culture, right. This is so important. Many companies, especially US companies, tend to just jump into a market because we have the money and resources to do it, and then very laggard in hiring local talent to manage businesses there. And most of the thinking is that, hey, we have a great innovative product that is very successful in the US, and we can make some minor variation and launch these products or services, or even a retail store, for example, in another country, right. You could not be more wrong. A lot of these companies have learned their lessons, right, after jumping in like that, right. So, it's going to become even more difficult in the era of digital, right. These digital technologies, because information is global, because of the use of digital technologies, every consumer is very well informed worldwide, right, about what is available where in which part of the world, right. So, that makes it even more harder. So, that is why you have to understand local culture, local society requirements, so that you can design products, design your business around that. And in order to do that, you have to hire local people with local talent. And obviously, the younger generation are supposed to be more digital savvy, right. That is not entirely true, because even baby boomers are the ones who actually created these digital technologies, if you look at it that way, right. But the users of digital technologies are the millennials, the next generation after baby boomers. So, people and organization structure very go hand in hand. That's why you have this two-dimensional element that we talk about, right. That's this framework that I put together has very strong meaning in this world of digital that we live in. Technology and infrastructure. You want to leverage common technology and infrastructure to execute country specific business processes, right. Remember, business processes are the execution engine for every business, right. And if you want to operate at this speed of business, right, speed of how the markets are moving, and you want to operate at that speed, then you would want to have very well defined business processes in each country that matches up with local regulations and so on, right. Very important. You cannot have different privacy, you cannot have the same privacy structure that you have, for example, on how you share data with another company as in the US, and do the same thing in Europe, right. It will not work, because the EU, European Union privacy laws are very stringent, much more stricter, right. In the US, it is a lot more liberal, right. There is a lot of leeway on how you want to how companies can define them. And that could cause a lot of problems, right, and it has. So, Google, Facebook, these digital natives have been facing a lot of these sort of scrutiny, right, from European Union as we speak. So, you can go and Google what European Union issues are current right now, for example, right. So, big data and analytics, that is the last of the 5 two-dimensional elements, right. So, you want to craft data capturing and analysis frameworks that are aligned with country specific privacy, ethics and legal requirements. So, you cannot be collecting all kinds of data like you do in probably in the US, for example, right. So, you have to be very cautious about what data can be collected, what data can be correlated, joined together, and what insights you can get. So, there is a regulatory aspect lens that you have to look at when you are actually using big data and analytics in the context of a global business. Okay. So, let us look at the digital 5 forces aspect of the digital business strategy framework, right. Connectivity. You want to be able to measure in each country how are consumers connected to the internet, how do they talk to each other, which mode of communication is very popular, right? Very important to know all that when you are developing a country-specific strategy. Consumerization. How are consumers? Do consumers in that country have a choice in the marketplace? Are they in control of the transactions like we have in the US, right? So, where in this consumerization cycle, if you will, right, maturity level, if you will, where are they? Where is each country, right? Each country is going to be different, definitely, right? Globalization. Is the country open to global companies entering their markets, right? What about exports of their products and services? What are the trade barriers, challenges and opportunities? All of these have to be sort of thought through, right? You have to develop specific criteria and strategy on how you are going to globalize, right? How are you going to enter the country? Simply because you have a $100 million fund doesn't mean that you can just jump into China, for example, and start a taxi service. Very hard, right, as we know, right. So, digitalization, how digital is your business, right, that competes in the country. How digital is your business? How digital are businesses in that country as well? You have to look at both aspects, right. If a lot of the local companies in that country are not digitalized, then you have an advantage, right. You have definitely an advantage. But then you also have to look at what are all the infrastructure capabilities, right. The process of digitalization, it's not enough to have a digital technology in your home country, but you also have to figure out how can we leverage local infrastructure, right, to deliver some services in a unique way. Miniaturization. Are there smart products that are being well received, right? You don't want to enter a market with a fancy product that does not have the infrastructure, right, to deliver those digital experiences. And then secondly, customers are not really, they don't care, right. So, this definitely has happened, right. So, this has happened in the video game industry. Video gaming is very popular in some countries, but is not as popular in other countries, right, during the same time frame, right. So, these smart products, you have to do your own analysis on each country. What are the trends, patterns and cultural receptivity to smart products, right. It could be a cultural thing not to accept some of the smart products that we make here in the US, for example, right. So, this is this gives you a very good sense that 5 two-dimensional elements and this digital 5 forces. I've basically given you a guide of how to look at, how to apply this digital business strategy framework in the context of how to become a global company and how to enter global markets. So, I am going to get to the final slide with a global business strategy key do's and don'ts, right. This is very important. I have highlighted only the key ones, obviously, right. You may have your own list. Understand local customers, markets and competitors. That is your business context that you are going to operate in. So, the more deeper you can go and understand a marketplace, the better it is. Do not just jump in just because you have the money, your brand is global already, right, but it is a different ball game when you are actually going to start selling products or services, right. Partner with local companies who are aligned with your business goals. I could not say this, could not repeat this enough, right. You have to partner with local companies. A lot of the US companies in multinational big companies here, they just launched with their own resources without local partners. They had some slew of partnering with local partners, but not in a much more strategic way, right. So, you need to strategically partner with a lot of local companies who are aligned with your business goals. That would help make your global market entry successful, for sure. You need to conduct a lot of local innovation experiments to prove or disprove hypotheses, right. This is in the digital age, experimentation, real time experimentation, fast fail iterative learning are very possible. So, you need to apply those to each country and then build an innovation pipeline in each country.